So you both come from a structured corporate background. How has that helped you build Interia as a scalable brand and not just a boutique studio?
Yes, so our corporate experience has, you can say, kind of wired us to put in systems and structures in place. And that has been our focus from the word go when we started. And we remember we started Interia with the intention of organizing this industry. So that has been our driving force from the word go. And we've been putting systems and structures from the beginning. Which means what? Which means clearly defining roles and responsibilities of everybody, training them in their respective jobs so that they're aware of what they're supposed to deliver. Not only their own job, but they're also aware of what everybody else in the team has to deliver. So they don't have to really worry about, who's going to do what. They're all very clear about it. So we invest a lot of time in that. We'll invest a lot of time in training those people, right? And one of the things we have done, which I think to my mind has been quite a game changer, when it comes to setting up quality control systems, we have taken it to the grassroots level.
Like?
It means what? It means that the person who's doing the work, actually doing the work on the ground,
Right.
he is aware of the quality parameters. How should it be before he starts the work? What tools should he have? Right? How he's supposed to be doing it? And what are the checkpoints that his superior is going to check once the job is done? So he manages the whole thing at his level and he checks everything and then only gets checked at the next two levels. So I think to my mind, that has been a biggest game changer, Anachal. End of the day, it's about freeing ourselves, taking ourselves out of the equation so the team is well equipped to take it forward.
Like
That's the only way.
Like a well-oiled machine.
Well-oiled machine, yeah. That's the only way we can scale it up. And I'll give you an example of that. About 2 years back, 2023, we were shifting to a new office, right? And you will not believe it. My actual involvement in that project has been absolutely minimal, much lower than a whole lot of other projects that I get into.
In your own office?
Yeah. So I'm so proud that my team is the one who actually designed the whole thing and they also executed the whole thing. And I'm so proud of it.
Wow. And what is your team size?
So we have about 40 people in the executive cadre. Plus, of course, there are a whole lot of, hundreds of workers who are there.
And you started with?
We're
talking about scalability.
Actually, that's very interesting. I started with, you can say, solo. I was doing everything. I just had one team, the carpentry team with me. That's how I started.
Very nice.
Yeah. And see, all these processes and structures are not only required for scaling the business, but it also gives a lot of confidence to the client and a lot of transparency to the client, because everything is quite visible to them. When they go to the site and they see the quality checks, or even if they are not in town, we send them regular updates, not just as a special thing, but that's the way we work. So it gives a lot of confidence to the client having very well structured processes.
So how do you communicate with the client in terms of updates? It's about pictures or it's reports? How?
Yeah, so it's both. So we have WhatsApp groups where we send regular pictures to them, especially
Stages
of the quality checks. Yeah. Plus, we also have a weekly status report going to the client of the work done earlier week and what's planned for the next week. So it's, and they're free to go to the site, they're free to go to the factory when their, work is happening. So
in Batafir also, we immensely depend on reporting systems.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's
because
really
otherwise
great,
you can't work. Now let's talk about partnerships, especially like with vendors like us. What do you look for when choosing collaborators in the bathroom segment?
Yeah, that's a good question, Achal. So we look for exactly the same thing what clients look at us for, which is transparency, which is being able to trust each other, which is being able to co-create anything, and having the sense of that yes, we will get the best, whether in terms of product, service, or any new range that's coming up, innovation, if I may call it. So that's exactly what we look at. And we would, whether it's with partners or with our vendors, we always like to use the word partners, and we always like to use the phrase co-creation, because that's ultimately what it is.
True.
And that's, and it's been fantastic working with Bath Affairs, because I think the essence is very much the same. So I find that you have the same principles as us, and that's how the partnership has become very strong.
And what has been your experience at the store physically?
I think it's fantastic. One, it's very well designed.
Thanks.
Second, you've got the entire range. It's very easy to select. And see, bathroom is a very complex piece. I think out of all the areas in the house, bathroom is one of the most complex pieces. And the way you've set up the store, I think it just makes it fun to do the selections for your bathroom, fittings, accessories, and you've got a fantastic range of the tiles. So when we bring in our clients, they can do the entire curation of everything that's required for their bathrooms at one place. It's fantastic. And it's just a very nice vibe and experience to the whole thing once you walk in.
That's so good to hear. Yeah. We always welcome a collaboration, like you said, co-creation with architects, the clients and us, so that we all get involved in the process of having a space for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and just to add to that, I think the most important thing we look for in the partnerships is the service orientation. It is not just a product that we're buying, it is actually a service. Not many people might realize that, but for us, that service aspect and the solution orientation is very, very important to us. And I think that's what we can get from Bath Affairs.
Yeah, Bath Affairs is not just selling a product.
Absolutely.
We are selling the knowledge. We are imparting the knowledge about the product, the curation of products we have. We try to have that experience for the client.
No, absolutely. And that's why we feel very confident in bringing a client here, because, we know that, it's the best place for your bathroom selections.
Got it. Great. So in the world of trends, what are the key trends you're seeing in luxury interiors today?
Yeah, so what's happening which you have noticed in the last couple of years is there is an explosion when it comes to design. You are seeing a lot of new design language, a lot of new design kind of expressions, right? Also explosion in terms of materials. So that's happening. While that is happening, there are few trends that actually stand out. First of those trends is automation. Home automation, I think, is now coming of age. We find that almost every other client who comes to us is seeking some kind of automation. Some are seeking like full home automation. Some are seeking, at least in a limited way, they're seeking automation. So that's one big trend. The second trend is sustainability. I think people are very much aware of ecosystem and how it is progressing, right? So they're very, very careful about using products and materials which can be sustainable. For example, when it comes to home paint, right? People come and tell us, we got small kids, we do not want any kind of harmful emissions post the paint work is done. So we are looking for those kind of paint options where it is not emitting those harmful toxic substances, right? Same thing about LEDs. Same thing about automation. Automation also helps in a big way in terms of energy conservation. So these are the sustainable trends in terms of technology, in terms of materials. That's here to stay, and that is a long way to go still, right? And the third trend, I think, is which we are seeing is that people today are very, very bold and very experimental. I think they are not just here to copy some standard, मेरे को classical चाहिए या फिर I want very modern minimalistic kind of design.
They are ready to experiment.
Yeah, they are, and at times we are surprised because the clients, I'll give an example. So about a couple of months back, a client comes to us and he says, I want this particular theme, and he named that theme as brutalist. I had not heard of that theme earlier.
Right.
I said, what is brutalist? I said, it is not possible that I don't know of
about
it.
Yeah,
but maybe I don't know it by that name. I said, please describe to me, what is brutalist? He said, concrete finish, and it's raw, and this and that. I said, industrial. And he said, this is how most of the new restaurants are today. I said, oh, you're talking about industrial theme. So,
exposed concrete,
very raw kind of look, minimalistic, right? That kind of a thing. So, people today are very forthcoming, willing to experiment new things, and that's how we are seeing, each to his own. It's not just cookie cutter approach.
Yeah. And I think the whole definition of luxury is changing. See, earlier it was about using a lot of gold, maybe using a lot of stone. While those are expensive materials, but as Umesh said, luxury has also become a very personalized thing. So it's no longer related to any specific material or style. Luxury is also about how I express myself, that confidence, and I call it luxury. So that's also we are seeing a lot of trend, especially with the younger generation who've attained that level of life which earlier used to be much later. So they are free and they feel confident to experiment. The other thing, just adding on to what Umesh said about having things eco-friendly and sustainability, I mean, that's becoming a huge thing with people, to the extent that like one of the clients, and subsequently we saw more clients saying even the RO water wastage, they don't want to waste that. So they wanted a tank where the water could be filled in and they could use that for watering the plants. So people are going to that extent, and you may say that is very functional, but it's just how you define luxury. Really.
Right. So what would your advice be to the young and upcoming architects, designers trying to build their niche in the luxury design family?
Yeah, I would say that the younger architects or interior designers have this inherent compulsion to follow the fad. So for example, metal trims was in a while back. So let me use metal trims. Or the bendable louvers is in. Let me use that wherever possible. I think that is something they should refrain from. They should look at what we call at Interia, we believe in highly, is the timeless design. So anything, that will never fade away. By all means, be aware of what's there in the market, but look at it, that how long it's going to last me. So it is there is a thing about timeless beauty, and there is something that's pleasing to the eye, and not just doing it because
you've seen it somewhere, maybe.
Yeah, you've seen it somewhere. So that's going to be my piece of advice to the young architects and interior designers who are, and of course understanding the client.
That's
I think
that's key.
The underlying. Don't get too caught up in your own ideas and not listen to the client.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely the key.
Yeah.
To understand the client's deepest, you have to unearth it. It's like bit of being like a detective, You're out there to understand what the client actually at the deepest level wants. Very often you'll find that the within the family, their outlook towards design is very, very different. So you have to understand that as well and find out at what point they at what point they meet, right? And once you unearth their hidden drivers and motivations, right, and leave aside all your design ideas, design thoughts, first understand that, and then what you create basis that will come out something which is unique to their requirements.
Nice, very truly. Let's end this amazing discussion with a quick rapid fire. You can't think too much. Let's your first instinct be your answer. Let's start.
Yes.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay. First, a project that challenged you the most.
I think a project which we did in Moradabad.
Okay.
This was a 65-year-old Haveli. We had to do a lot of restructuring, and local folks advised us not to touch the structure. It's that old. We still went ahead. We did the thorough examination and we built it. It's come out amazing. It's a mix of the old with the new.
Nice. Your go-to color palette right now.
I'd say what they call it as greige, which is like grey come beige, very neutral shade, but you can go with either grey or beige to kind of mix match.
Nice. One material that never fails you.
For me, it's marble, natural marble.
For me, it's veneer.
Veneer. Oh, interesting. Minimalism or maximal?
Both.
Both. It's him. For him, it's both. For me, it's absolutely minimalism.
Minimalism for you. Okay. One thing your bathroom must have.
Towel warmer.
Towel warmer.
I
Defogger.
like my towels to be crisp.
Crisp.
For me, it's defogger.
Defogger.
Yeah.
Very nice. And one dream destination for design inspiration.
That's a difficult one. I don't have one, because I feel that design inspiration just comes from very little things that you observe. So can't think of any one place.
For
For
you?
me, very clearly, it's Italy.
Italy.
Yeah.
Rome, the cobbled streets and walking
Absolutely,
around.
Absolutely.
The fountains. Great. And who takes longer to approve the final design?
Oh, that's the fastest.
I do.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Great. Okay. One-stop shop for bathroom design.
Oh, that was the fastest bath affairs.
Oh, thank you so
Clearly.
much.
Very clearly.
And not just because of we are having this podcast, but I would say it even otherwise.
Oh, thank you. Umesh, Shefali, it's been an absolute pleasure hearing your story and the philosophy behind the Interia. Thank you for joining us today and sharing your journey so generously.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us over, Anshan. We really enjoyed it.
Thank you. To our viewers, if you haven't seen the Interia's work yet, do check them out. Until next time, this is Dialogue with Bath Affair, where design meets vision.